Thank you. Let's make a card with the stamp of the month for November 2020. Good morning. Today I'm going to put together this card from the free card kits that I'm offering to anyone who buys the stamp of the month for November 2020. It is You Warm My Heart from Close to My Heart, and I am Judy Dahlgren, a maker, and I love playing with their stamps. So today we're going to put together this card kit. I just wanted to show you what you got. Okay, what you get is you get 2 of these, and you'll get 2 of the other card, but I haven't put those together yet. And inside you'll get everything you need to make the card. The only thing you will need is ink and your stamp set. Okay, so this is the sample card. So you're gonna get your envelope, card bases, layers, die cuts or thin cuts. This is the border thin cut, the rectangle border. This is to stamp on, and you don't have this stamp, or you may have it in your stash, but this is not included with this stamp set, so I include that image for you. You get your twine, and you get your embellishment pieces, which would be these 2. Okay, so let's get to putting it together. And I usually ink the edges of my paper, so I'm going to do that. And being that this is a black paper with white, I add a black edge so that it stands out more from the white cardstock that it's going to be layered onto. And just a little bit. It just gives it that little emphasis over the white. Okay. And maybe my tape runner. I know it's sad to cover up this green tree paper, but that's okay. I have lots of it. And you don't need a lot of adhesive. That's really good adhesive. I haven't had any problems with it falling off if it's not real strong. It is real strong. You don't need a lot because it's real strong. All right, next will be this layer, and I'm going to stamp on it with the little texture stamp, which is the 4 dots here. Okay, our clear blocks. I'm going to use toffee ink for this, and I could do this after. I actually think I probably did when I made it, but it's easier to do it before. And this is just random stamping. I try and follow the rule of 3, so I'll go 3, and then I'll do 3. And I know the gnome and the coffee cup are going to be here, so I don't have to worry about stamping it somewhere there. So there's 3. One might show here and go off your paper every now and then. It makes it look like it's more random. There's 3. And I know I'm going to have maybe a little bit down here. I didn't put any there, but I can now. There's 3. Let's see. Might be 1 there. Okay. Let's go off the paper there. Adds a little interest. Makes it look like it's flowing. Okay. So that's done. Now I'm also going to add some of the toffee shimmer brush. And I'm going to prime it. Get it ready, shake it all up good. Don't open it over your project. Oh, and these are the directions. You also receive this little sheet of directions with a picture of the finished project, so that if you open it and there's any loose ink or ink splatters in there, it could fall on your project. And if it's not where you want it to be, then you don't have to worry about it. So open it over scrap paper, squeeze it onto a craft mat or some surface that is non-absorbent, and then you can reuse it. And just tap lightly. And I like to tap right about here with my fingers, and it gives it a nice fine tap. And that looks good. And I'm going to soak that back up, see if I can get in there. No, maybe not. Okay. What we're going to do with this, because I have some left, this is the wood grain paper that I cut out, And I'm just going to use it to color the edge. And that's going to give it a little bit of a shimmer on the edge. And I could ink it with the toffee ink as well. But it just adds a little bit of interest. And I can also go in and absorb that ink off of my craft mat into the edge of the paper. And that gives it a little more texture on the edges. Just absorb that ink on there. Don't want to waste any of it, right? All right. And some people do it like this and they smush it into the ink that's on here. It just adds some more interest. Looks like a weathered piece of wood, right? Right there. All right. And I'm going to tear the edges. Make sure I have it layered correctly. Okay. And we're going to tear the sapphire. I want to make sure I make it a little bit bigger so that the layered look is still there. Just a little bit more. Whoops. Okay. So that looks good. And we'll attach it. Now the twine that you receive in your card kit might be different depending on what I had laying around. And all I did was leave enough to tie your bow or tie your end and just wrap it. And you can do it as many times as you have enough twine for, or one tie if that's what you desire. So that's done. Now you're going to want to take some scissors that will cut, and I use a regular micro tip scissors for this. They're not non-stick. The other ones are non-stick. And I put the string on here to remind me that this is for twine or ribbon, because if I cut paper with it, it could make them duller. Okay, oh, look at how it has that. Now if you want to fray the end of your twine, I take a pointy tool, which in this case is my tweezers, and I'll drag it through the twine and unravel it. You could use just your fingers to unravel, but I like using my tweezers. And they can be a little sticky because they're not supposed to unravel, right? And the more you unravel, the fuller the end will be. And I'll probably trim that down. Okay, you can see how that does. I'll trim it again. Okay, this gives it some interest, and that'll go on here. Okay, so we're going to put this down. And you could use foam dimensional adhesive to put this down, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to put that little banner piece. My little gnome is hiding. I'm going to put the little banner piece on with foam. And if I mail it, I don't want to make it too dimensional. Post office doesn't like a lot of dimension. Okay, so this is the piece we're going to put on with foam dimension. I'm not going to put it where my twine is. That way it won't be bumpy. I'll get a little piece for the end. Make sure the twine doesn't slip off. And a couple pieces for the middle so it doesn't sag. And I'm only going to take off the dimension off of the ends. This way I can slide my coffee cup underneath there. All right. And I'm not going to press it down. Oh, I got a stamp. It's a good thing I didn't press it down. I've got to stamp my sentiment. And then this one, we're going to do You Warm My Heart. There is another great one on the stamp set, Wishing You a Cozy Holiday. So you could use either one. Okay. And that scarlet shows up well over the toffee. So that's good. All right, now I can lay you down. All right. And let's color this. We're going to stamp our coffee cup onto our wood. You could use either side of the wood. I'm going to use this side. And I'm going to stamp with the Scarlet ink again. I love to stamp on the wood grain paper. Ink it up really good. I go around the ink pad, make sure there aren't any like drier spots. So I got a good image and I can look through and see. That's one of the benefits of having the clear stamp. And pick where you want to stamp. I'll leave it down here, and if the paper sticks to the stamp, I can lift it up and then press on the bottom. Yep, it did. Just make sure you hold it still and don't let it move, or you'll get a double image. There, perfect. All right, now I also need to stamp the coffee cup top for the little gnome to sit in. And I'm going to turn it upside down and do it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Actually, I'm going to cut it off. So let's stamp it here. I'm going to cut it out and layer it. You could stamp it and match it and do it all as one layer, but I like having the extra dimension of that layer. Okay. So let's quickly cut it out. Now for this part, you're going to want to cut a slit in your lids to fit the gnome down in. And you can use any X-Acto knife for this, or your scissors if you can get a little slit in there and then cut along with your scissors. And what I mean by that is you can poke a little hole in there and then cut along. Just be careful you don't tear your paper. Got a little rough edge there. That must mean my blade needs to be changed. Okay. So there is our coffee cup. And our gnome, we're going to color. And I'm going to use our dark red blend. The lightest color first. And I only have to do his hat and his beard and his face. His nose is really all you see, right? They're so cute. And this stamp set is still available online at this moment that I'm doing the video anyway. Okay, so there's that. I'll do his sleeves, because these are going to hang over. And I could actually trim his beard to hang over the coffee cup too, but that's up to you. All right, now you could leave it like that. It's a nice thing about these alcohol markers is it makes it such a nice blended look. It's smooth. It doesn't have lines from your markers the way other markers are. But I like to add a little dimension with the shading. And I'm not going to use the darkest color. I'm just going to do the two. And I go back over with the light along the edge where I have it. And once that dries, it'll be blended. So I'm going to go back to the mid-tone and color under his beard like there's a shadow. And along the creases of his arms. I'm going to go back with the light to blend those two edges. Okay, the red is done. Now we also have brown, and I'm using our Earth Brown Blend, the lightest color, to do his little sleeve. Alright, don't need anything extra with that. I have to get my other marker for his nose. And for his beard, I'm going to use our Gray Ground blend, or Brown Gray blend. I always suggest getting a nice gray to use with your projects because it's really good for adding shadows. And for this one, we're going to do his beard. Okay. And I sometimes will just do a line, but I wanted to show you how to do the flicks to get that hair look. Okay, go from the top to the bottom. And there are some other brush markers that are better at this. They have a better nib that allows you to do a much better look. But you can get it with this a little bit. And what you do is you start at the top and just go down lightly. Okay, and that gives your beard a little bit of look for hair. And this is the Fair Skin Blend, and we're going to use the lightest edge and color his ears and his nose. And use just a little bit of medium tone for his shadow and his hands. Alright, so now that he's all colored, we're going to cut him out. And what I do with this is I go around the white and just trim right on the black line. Now if you trim and you cut off more of the black than you want, you can trace the outline with a black marker to get that black line back again. Okay. Now just carefully go right back out along the edge of the white so that it looks like it's die cut that way. Okay, and that little piece you can trim right off. I leave the rest of them on there because it helps to be able to glue this part to the back of your coffee cup. You could probably make it so you can pull them out, but I'm not doing that. Okay, so we're going to adhere the coffee cup to the lid to the bottom part, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive along the bottom here so that I can stick it together. Okay, so that's good. And he's going to go in the coffee cup, just like that. Isn't that cute? Oh, let's see. I put dimensional adhesive, so let's glue him down so nobody can pull him out and see that I didn't color him. And this is where I said you could cut his beard if you wanted it to poke over the edge. And we'll use our foam adhesive. just want it a little more tilted. And there we are. So cute. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.